So so it is not just this 18 months that she'll be part of the program. She becomes part of the community, and we have alums who come back to us and for help with placements if they want to move jobs, and we help them out still. It's not something the outside community knows, but we help out our alums as well with jobs and career moves.
Okay, thank you. How can we get in touch with the alums?
So if your daughter has already applied, she can go to this link from the website. I'll just send it in the chat. It's called Alumni Connect. Okay, you've sent it. So you can simply go to this link. You have their email IDs. If your daughter puts in her VS ID, which she would have got while registering, she can access their numbers also, and she can call them directly and tell them the admissions team shared their number, and they'll help you out with all the questions. These are some alums that we have selected from different fields that you can speak to. However, if you want to reach out to others, you can ask your daughter to simply go on LinkedIn, search Vedika, and all our alums will pop up there. You can reach out to anyone, you can message them there. And if there's anyone specific that you want to speak to, you find an alum, you're unable to get in touch with them, you can ask your daughter to get in touch with Kunal or me, and we'll help out, connect with the alums. We are pretty, our alums are our biggest brand ambassadors. And honestly, first 3-4 years when we were a new program, we weren't accredited. Our alums were the only thing that we could, vouch for. You speak to them, they are a product of the program, and we are proud of them. They've done really well after the program.
Yeah, just brief me once more regarding the whole admission process. Because my daughter, I don't think she has applied yet, but she's planning to apply in this week only. Okay. But can you briefly explain us about the whole process from now onwards up to the starting of the classes?
Okay. So I'm guessing that she's already registered, but I'll walk you through the entire process. Anybody who wants to apply to Vedika, first of all, the eligibility is someone with an undergrad degree. They can be in their last year of graduation, or they could have graduated. They are eligible to apply. People with work experience are eligible to apply. So what you have to do is you have to go to our website, and there'll be a apply now button. There you have to register yourself. You have to put in your email ID, phone number, and a couple of other details. You have to submit your registration there, upon which you'll get a confirmation email on your ID. You have to activate your application, and once you log in, you'll get a login to your application. You log into the online application, you fill up the form. There'll be certain sections ranging from education details, your past experience, everything will be covered there. There'll be some psychometric questions that needs to be filled. There'll be a resume you have to upload, a photograph of yours. So once you submit that online application, complete your application, then our team will be shortlisting applications. And if your application is shortlisted, you'll get a call from the admissions team members, counselors, and for a personal interview. So typically we used to conduct personal interviews in campus, but because of the pandemic, we are open to doing virtual interviews as well. So it'll be a video call that she'll have to go through, followed by another interview with one of the senior team members or an assignment, a written assignment. So the entire process takes about a month.
Okay, so this last interview or the written assignment is the last part of the admission process.
Right.
Okay, and then suppose we apply today or maybe this week. So you mean to say that by end of December or maybe first week of January, the admission process will be complete?
Yes. At least her interview
to start in August.
Yeah. The classes will start next year in August, and this admissions process is for our next batch. So yes, her process will be, at least her interview will be done in December, and hopefully if she gets through, she'll also get an admissions offer. Depends on how the interview goes.
Yeah, and please also tell us about the fee payment structure and what are the times we need to pay the fee, because she's sitting for certain examinations also. So she'll be waiting for the results for those exams also.
Okay.
So it will not.
I know, sir. So applying to an MBA program becomes such a big thing because you have to pay fees before even applying to colleges. That's why we don't have an application fee. You don't have to pay anything to fill up our online application. But if you get an offer from us, and if you have to reserve your admission, you have to secure a seat, you'll have to pay an initial deposit. So for example, if a student gets an admissions offer on a date T, then they have to pay the initial deposit in the next 15 days of receiving the offer. And that initial deposit is of 70,800. And once they pay, so this is inclusive in the fees. The total fees for our batch for our next batch is 13.86 lakhs. And this 70,800 has to be paid initially to reserve your seat. And once that's done, then she's admitted to the program. And then the rest of the fees that has to be paid will have to be paid in 4 installments over a span of a year. So the installments start from next year. First installment will probably be in April. Second will be in August, and like every 4 months, she'll have to pay the installment.
Okay, and yes, somebody asked about the residence. So you said that it's a compulsorily residential program, and on campus one has to stay.
Right,
Yes.
right, sir.
COVID thing goes away.
So even right now, sir, both our batches, they are in campus. For 6th batch, our previous batch, we had given them an option to either come and stay here or attend things online. But going forward, we will be keeping it a residential program itself, and we'll require our students to be here in the hostel, because we feel like that's a big part of the learning that happens at Vedika. So yeah, we have a campus about 5 to 10 minutes from here. It's a walk. It's a 500-meter walk, and that's where our hostel is. And our currently all our students are staying here, and
So
classes are happening in person.
Since we are from Delhi only, it won't be a problem to come and see the campus.
Yeah, you should definitely do that.
Is that available? You are allowing visitors to visit your campus and see the
We
campus?
are. So inside the hostel, the movement will be restricted. We'll be able to show you one of the rooms close by. We won't let you roam inside the hostel, but we can show you around, and we can show you the campus. Campus is anyway open. Hostel, we have more, there's some restrictions. So, but you can still come by and check it out.
Yeah, I understand. Yes. So let me just think if I want to have any further questions. Just give me a minute.
Sure.
Palak, Cheel and Simran have joined midway through this conversation. Guys, if you have any questions, we're here. Have you started completing your applications? Have you started applying? Do you,
No, I have not started applying. I have a question though. I am from political science background.
okay.
I have no experience in management. So
Hmm.
I was a little, I had doubts like, would I face any problems in, doing a course in management and in placement, since the course seems to be dominated by engineers and people who are from management background.
Let me show you a statistic of
Yeah, I was
diversity.
going to say, Kunal, you can show her the statistic of what our class composition looks like. I think that will give you
Yeah.
some confidence. But
So
I'll
this is
expand
how-
on your question. Yeah.
This is how our 7th batch is right now. We have 30% people
Okay.
from us. There are a lot of people that I remember are from political science itself. This is 28% from commerce. There's 20% from engineering. Then there's 12 from pure sciences and 10% from a mixture of other this thing. And we have most of 52% freshers and 48% work experience. I know the typical MBA experience is to see a cohort filled with engineers, but I guess thankfully we don't see that here, and we see a very
Yeah,
healthy
that's-
mix of everything.
Yeah, that's really good to know.
Palak, I want to ask you something before answering your question.
Yeah.
Why did you apply to Vedika, or what makes you want to apply for a management program?
So basically what attracted me to Vedika was its emphasis on liberal arts. And
Mhm.
when I looked at the curriculum of other MBA colleges, it didn't really appeal to me. So
Mm.
that's why Vedika. And as for management, after a couple of internships not related to management, but I realized that I have good management skills and I'm interested in HR. So
Okay. Have you completed your graduation?
yeah, I've
Or-
completed. Yeah.
Okay. So we have got applications from a lot of people from different fields. Kunal showed you the composition. And in fact, I know of a lot of people who've joined from political science background. So one thing is that you're not sure what you want to do. You come here, you treat Vedika as a platform to really experiment, explore, and really find your calling.
Yeah.
Second is there are people who've joined from specific backgrounds like political science with an aim to get into, say, public policy. And they've in fact gone on to work with consulting firms. ASG, Albright Stonebridge Group recruits from Vedika in public policy consulting roles. We have other companies also recruiting. We've got eGov Foundation recruiting from Vedika, again, a public policy role. So we do get, because of the diverse curriculum that we have, we also attract recruiters at Vedika from different industries and functions, hiring in very different roles. For example, last year, Genpact came to campus, and typically Genpact recruits, it's a mass recruiter that goes to a lot of B schools. But the kind of role they recruited in, they gave an offer for a diversity and inclusion role. So that's quite unheard of. So because of the curriculum, we also have companies coming in and recruiting in very interesting roles. So there's a lot to really explore and experiment. And I know of people, I can remember this one scholar from our last to last batch. In fact, her video is also on YouTube. She was from a political science background, DU. She came in and she realized she wanted to be in a more dynamic environment. She didn't want to do a master's in political science. So she ended up like immersing herself and taking it as a blank slate where she immersed herself in the curriculum, and eventually she got placed into a strategy role at Airtel Payments Bank. So it was quite different from what she was doing before. But I feel like the Vedika curriculum has enabled a lot of students to really come here and change trajectories. And there are enough and more examples that you will find on our social media channel. So it's not the beauty of having like a batch that's really diverse is that there'll be people from arts. Probably you'll be more comfortable with, say, liberal art courses. Some engineers won't be comfortable with those courses, so they'll take your help. You can take help from them in certain subjects that you haven't studied before. So it's a good amalgamation of different backgrounds. And in terms of coping up with the curriculum, we will be assessing you for that in an interview process. So while in an interview process, we evaluate your aptitude, your attitude. We'll also be seeing if you can make most of the program of our offerings, if you have the potential to make most of our liberal arts track, personal growth track. So all that will be assessed in the interview. If you get an offer from us, then you should feel confident about doing a good job at Vedika.
And we've also started taking in-person interviews, so you get to meet the interview panelists itself, and they're amazing. You would love to be interviewed by them, and it doesn't hurt. I mean, at least fill up the forms, get through your interviews, and have that experience. It'd be really beneficial to your overall growth as well. You will get to learn a lot, and it's not just about grilling you, it's about your growth from the start to the end. So even if you don't get in, I hope you do, but even if you don't, you at least gone through an interview process and met some amazing people.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure, Palak. Hi, Simran and Jignal, we have not spoken to you both. Jeel is communicating with us via chat, so thank you for that, Jeel. I will also be sending you, if anyone has missed out, if any of your friends wanted to join and they have missed out on this webinar, please ask them to request me for the recording. I'm writing the email ID where you can make these requests right now.
Meanwhile, Rahul, I have one question. What is the last date to apply at Vedika for the program? What is the last date and what is the batch strength you have? I don't remember seeing.
Okay.
It on the...
So we have 2 batches that are running currently, and we have about 100 plus students in both the batches. And for the next batch, class of 23, we are also looking at a similar batch size. It will be around 115 to 120. And this batch size is divided into 2 sections. So there'll be essentially 60 to 65, 55 to 60 students in one section.
And what is the last date to apply at Vedika?
So we are currently, our round 1 is running and we'll be closing admissions for it on 24th of December. So your daughter will need to complete her application before that. And so we have a rolling admission. As soon as seats fill up, we'll be closing admissions. But for round 1, we will be closing admissions on 24th December. And the round 2 will start sometime in January.
So each round will be approximately 30 days or maybe more than that.
Yeah, it will be 30 to 45 days.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Khushi, you're the one who raised your hand first. You
Yes,
can
I do.
unmute yourself.
Hi, I have a question regarding the scholarship. So does the do we start the process for the scholarship application only once we receive a confirmation?
Yes, Khushi, we do give out scholarships based on need, merit, and diversity. And you can apply for scholarships once you're part of the program. So once you get an admissions offer from us, once you pay your initial deposit and secure a seat, then there's a separate process that you have to go through. You'll have to submit certain documents, a statement of purpose of why we should give you a scholarship, along with some documents like your family ITR for us to assess if you require a need-based scholarship. For merit, you'll have to submit other documents, whatever achievements you've made previously, which are highlight worthy. We'll be asking you to submit all those documents. There might be a scholarship interview as well if you want more clarity on your candidature. So there'll be that, and it's about a 2-month process that you have to go through to get a scholarship. And we offer scholarships only on tuition fee, ranging from 10% to 100%, depending again on your candidature.
You can also check out the link that I've shared right now in the chat. It has a detailed schedule for even scholarship rounds, so you can plan accordingly when to apply.
All right. So, do I have to apply for one of the two, or can I apply for both and then allow the committee to see which one I'm better suited for?
Both. You can apply for both. It could be just one application where you talk about when you write your statement of purpose, talk about both need and merit. You don't have to choose one to apply for.
All right, got it.
Anything else, Khushi? Or we move on to Jignal otherwise?
I do have another question, but it's very specific to my application, so I don't know if I should ask right now.
You can go ahead.
All right. So what I'm actually facing a problem with my application online. So the details that I'm writing in, they don't get saved. And I don't know what to do about that because I've been filling the same thing over and over again, but every single time there is no save option.
Oh yes, I just saw your mail today, an hour ago, I think.
So I don't know what to do about that.
We are working on it. I will update you on the same mail thread.
Okay.
So we've already raised this concern with our IT team and they're working on it. Meanwhile, just a suggestion, if you can just copy the form on a Word doc and fill it there so that you don't lose out on any information.
Yeah.
All right, I'll do that.
Yeah, Jignal, you can unmute yourself and go ahead.
Yeah. Hello. So I have a specific question. Like I'm done with my interview on Monday. So when will I be getting the results? Like in how many days will I be getting the notification or something from your side?
Okay. You were interviewed on Monday and today we are on what? Wednesday.
Yeah.
In the next 7 days.
Okay. So
who took your interview, Jignal?
Yeah, it's Rupa ma'am, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. You'll get an email from us in the next 7 days with the decision.
Okay, no problem. So I'll be getting the email regarding that, right?
Right. Yes. Either way, you'll be getting a communication from us.
Okay, no problem. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Yeah, Khushi, go ahead.
I actually don't know much about the interview process because I'm still filling in my application. So is there a certain way to prepare for the interview? Is there certain things that we can expect during the interview, sort of anything along those lines?
Unexpected. Expect the unexpected, I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
we won't give you too much dope for this, but some of the things that we'll be assessing is, of course, we have an inclusive admissions process. So we're looking at potential over past performance. We will check how you're approaching your career, what are your career goals, how ambitious you are, how keen you are to excel in the workforce. We will be checking you on your critical thinking skills, your aptitude. We will be checking you on your business awareness, your awareness on current affairs generally. And yeah, be honest. And we'll be questioning you on your decisions so far through education, or if you've worked around your work experience. So we will be going through your form very rigorously. So whatever you fill in, just know your answers and be honest about them.
All right. And two more questions.
Uh-huh.
One about the initial payment, I believe, that you're supposed to make once you receive a confirmation. Is there a certain date until which that payment is refundable? Is there any sort of timeline on that?
Yes, so that payment is refundable until you pay your first fee installment, which will be sometime in April.
Right.
So you'll be paying 70,800 to confirm your admission, and the refundable amount will be 60,000. Rest, the service fee will be charged. So and you can refund this till you pay your first fee installment, which is in April. And the first fee installment is not refundable.
Okay. And the other thing that I had to ask was if, like, a certain direction with regard to how to approach the application, because there's a section which talks about your previous job, like, do you have any job experience, I believe. So under that, is it advisable to put in part-time work experience?
Yes, you can. So you can probably add it in the last section, because you've not done full-time job. You can't say that you have work experience per se, but in the last section where we ask you if you want to tell us something more that hasn't been covered in the application, there you can fill in and talk a bit about the part-time work that you've done, what you've learned there. And of course, in your interview also, you can mention this, and the interviewer will be questioning you around it.
So I should say no if I don't have full-time work experience.
Yeah.
Okay. And the rest, I mean, the rest of it, I think, gets covered in the CV that you upload. So
Right.
should I even bother to mention it in the last section of the application, because it will anyway reflect.
If it's something that you want to highlight and you want your interview to go in that direction, then you should update it. Otherwise, we'll anyway see the CV and we'll read it there.
All right. Thank you.
All right. I think Simran, you're the only one who, if you have any questions that have not been answered by us.
I remember
not been
interviewing
asked.
Simran.
Yes, sir. Hi, sir.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Okay. Do you have any questions for us?
No, sir. Actually, I was having the question regarding scholarship, but that's clear.
Okay.
Perfect.
Great.
So we have 20 more minutes. If everyone's interested, I can show them a video of one of our recently placed scholars, and she just gives a small overview on how she got placed. She just got placed at Gartner, and she got placed as a research specialist. So she says where she's coming from, what her undergraduate is, and how she came here. So this is a short 5-minute video. I'm just going to put this up. And if anyone has any questions about her experience, please ask us after that.
Kunal, I have a question. If you can just answer this question before you play this video.
Sure, sir. Go ahead.
Can you give us some figures of how many students applied at Vedika last year in the previous batches? Because that will give us some idea of how competitive this course is nowadays in India.
So, sir, we got about 2,000 applications last year, and our final batch size was 108.
Yeah.
Okay, so this 2,000 students you were saying applied for the last batch.
Last batch. Yes.
last batch. Okay. Yeah, thank you. That's quite a good information. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Now, if everyone's ready, I'm just going to. Are you able to see this?
Yeah.
Rahul, can you confirm? Okay.
I'm a research specialist at Gartner, and that kind of involves both qualitative research as well as a little bit of quantitative research. So we focus on qualitative research in this team, and it's a peer and practitioner research team. So it involves a lot of experiences and a lot of conversations with industry experts and veterans. I actually got to know the day I had my interviews, and I was already out with my friends. I was already full of nerves, and I wanted to chill a little bit. And then I got to know via text, and the first person I called was my mom, and she was really happy for me. And then she got mad because I didn't come back home. I just spent the entire night celebrating. I've been doing humanities my entire life, and that kind of gets you lost in the abstract. I wanted a subject that was more connected to the ground reality, so I chose management. I really wanted a unique management experience. I wanted to cover the basics as well as get an insight into the subject, and that's why Vedika was the perfect choice. I think a liberal arts education is very important to have a well-rounded perspective on things. You can understand why a supply chain problem is happening, but a liberal arts education kind of shows you what the real life consequences of that is. Empathy is nurtured through liberal arts program. Perspectives are developed through liberal arts programs. So I think that is why it's very important to combine both management and liberal arts. I think personal growth can happen both within an institution and outside of it. And it's very important for an institution to kind of foster your personal growth. And a lot of institutions don't do that. Vedika is one that does. So one aspect of my personal growth has been my hostel experiences, my experiences with teachers, my experiences in like different circumstances. But another has been reflecting on these experiences. And Vedika's enabled certain classes to happen, understanding yourself, finding out what personality you fit in, which is kind of put everything in perspective. So you live the experience and then you get to reflect on it and theorize it as well. So there's a mix of theory and practicality happening, and that really happens with Vedika. My biggest learning has to be the importance of teamwork. Before Vedika, I just did solo projects. But when I came to Vedika, I was given so many group projects, and I finally understood the saying, that term, the whole saying that is that the whole is better than the sum of its parts. It really materialized in Vedika for me. I worked on projects where I don't think whatever I would have produced individually would have even come close to what we produced as a group. So I think that has been my biggest learning over here. It's very hard to choose one, but when I think about my favorite course, I think it would be we did pricing at one point, and we were doing so we talked a little bit about economics and behavioral economics in that, and it's something I've never studied, and it's something that was really interesting to me. And then I read up more about it, especially this one thing that it's the decoy effect. I don't know if you know about it, but the decoy effect basically talks about how a lot of people in pricing kind of put a middleman, so middle product, to kind of induce people to buy the larger product. For example, popcorn, right? You have small, you have medium, and you have large. So nobody really goes for the small or the medium. They go for the large because the medium and the large, the difference between them is very little. And that's something I've experienced in real life. So I just realized I'm getting duped. And the course was telling me I was getting duped. I was very happy to know. I remember telling everybody, you're facing the decoy effect right now. So I think that was one of the courses that I found was very interesting to me. My favorite faculty is Uncle Kulshrestha. He's had a lot of courses with us, but we have a difference between online education as well as physical education, right? And I've had the liberty of kind of seeing him in both respects. And he has a very big personality, both off screen and on screen. And the best part, I think, for him, because a lot of my education was online, was that he never made it feel static. It was always dynamic, even the projects that he gave. So this time I'm talking to a camera. I've talked to a camera once before, and that was for one of his assignments, a book review. And I remember deleting footage and doing it again and again, but it really helped me. And he's kind of helped me get acclimatized to the online space. So I think he is one amazing teacher. Definitely, Vedika has given me a lot of intangibles, and I think the biggest has been the confidence that I've gotten after this program, the feeling of empowerment, self assurance. I believe I was a very meek person before this program, but having been through so many GDs, so many presentations, and also being in an environment that kind of, fosters you to be confident, I think has made me feel more self assured of myself. So that's one intangible that I take from the program. One more that I do take is the kind of relationships I've fostered over here, the kind of people I've connected with. These are connections I feel like I will take forward in my entire life. So I think that is something that Vedika has given me. I worked with Nilima Dwivedi. She is a director at MSD. And it was a very interesting experience for me because for the first time I was talking to somebody who's been in the industry for so long and also very male dominated industry. She started in public policy and as she said, wo babu ka hota tha. And when she entered it, there weren't a lot of women in that space. So just to hear her trials and tribulations, just hearing her entire experience has been inspiring for me. For women everywhere, higher education is very important in terms of empowerment, in terms of independence. But when you go for an MBA, you're also getting financial independence along with it. And for young women today, that's very important. So I think my one thing that I would like to say to them would be go for it. It's really important.
So, Ria Jain.
She spoke really wonderfully. Like it just made
Thanks.
me apply to Vedika now.
Yeah, we are very proud of her. She's in our sixth batch right now. She's about to graduate next year with all her batchmates.
We can play one more video, an interview that we did recently with another student who got a pre-placement offer. So she did her shadow module at Aditya Birla Capital, and her performance got her a pre-placement offer in August. She was placed already. So maybe we can play her video as well.
Definitely.
So Ria here was a fresher. Now this one is somebody who's come with work experience.
I think the shadow module was a very different experience for me. I got to work with one of the most kindest women that I've come across, Miss Sneha Berewal. She was the head of marketing and product for Aditya Birla Capital. I think the best thing that I took from her was to always be prepared, because whatever meeting she held or was a part of in senior or junior management, she was always prepared and knew what she wanted out of that meeting. Right. So I think I've been very closely involved for the 6 weeks that I was there. And I actually really liked the people that I was working with. The culture there is great. And I think that eventually landed into a PPI. And then after the interview was done, I was offered a PPO at Aditya Birla itself. Yeah, so the one fact that I'm really looking forward to is to understand how a conglomerate works and what goes into working in a company that large and that well established. At Aditya Birla, I have been hired as a management trainee, and I think this is one of the best opportunities that I could have got, because in this role, I will be able to work across different departments and understand where my expertise lie finally. So I think it's a once in a lifetime opportunity that I get to work across all departments and then understand where I really fit in. So I'm really excited to work there. Every other management institute seemed like an assembly line to me, and Vedika was very different in that aspect because it has these 4 tracks, which are management, personal growth. There's a liberal arts section, which really makes it stand out from every other institute. And of course, a writing and communication center that helps you with your writing and communication. So that's what made the cut for me. I have had a lot of great professors that I've been able to interact here with. I think one of the professors have to be Ms. Shefali Yogendra. She taught us decision making, and it has been an absolute eye opener for me. But because I come from a commerce background and Vedika allows me to jump into the liberal arts field, I think sociology as a course, it was also something that I really enjoyed studying. Vedika has been quite a roller coaster. You know, like before we started, we were told that it's going to be a rigorous program, and it was one. I didn't know I had the ability to push myself that much, and I think that is what I've learned. That has been my biggest learning, that even when we think that there's only so much that we can do, we can always push further. Vedika is one of those places, I think, which is an experience in itself. It's a very experiential place, like they say in the corporate world today. I think there are a lot of intangibles, but something that really stands out for me is the fact that there's this sense of community that you have, and you can always reach out to people, whether in the program team or to your professors, or to the, of course to the cohort that you spend most of your time with. So I think that is one of the major intangibles, the friendships that you make here, the people that you meet here. And over and above that, the other major thing, major intangible that you really can't quantify is what it makes you. I mean, the perception that it helps you develop, the paradigms that it helps you shift, I think is a major shift. It helps in the major shift of the personality. I think Vedika is one of those places that brings a sense of esteem to you. It instills a sense of confidence, and it allows you to be yourself. And the other major thing that you cannot miss out is the varied people that you meet here from different backgrounds, different ages, and you get to learn a lot from them aside from what is taught in the class. In a place like Vedika, there's nothing conventional. There's no boxes that you can tick, because there are no boxes at all. And I think I've been able to do it with the help of the team here, and I wish everybody else can also do that, is to make choices out of understanding and not out of ignorance.
Thanks, Kunal. This was great. If you don't have any questions, we can wrap it up. Any last questions that you have?
Yeah, Rahul, are the details of the MBA affiliation program which you have with some university in UK, are those details available on your website?
Yes, yes. You can go to the Vedika Overseas tab. You'll find all the information there. If you want more specific information, you can always write to us and we'll help you out with it. Kunal has sent the link. Thank you, Kunal.
I will also be sending our social channels here. You can subscribe to us. We keep posting all our updates. It's very important that it's most likely will miss out on something important if you're not following us. So I would really urge everyone to start following us on Instagram and YouTube at least. Our videos are very informative, and we'll soon be providing some personal finance tips as well. So it'll be a great place. I hope it's a great place for you to get some of that information. Yeah, Khushi.
Your next academic year starts.
I'll just be back in a minute.
Starts in August, right?
Yeah.
And that will be held offline.
Yes, yes. Our current batch is also held offline, sorry. Okay. And we are keen to run the program offline. So next batch, hopefully things will be even better, and you'll get the full Vedika immersive experience.
That's a shared room of 2, right? Or is that?
Yes, yes. There's twin sharing in our hostels.
Okay.
Okay. Any more questions? Cool. I think, Kunal, we can wrap it up here.
Okay.
Any last things that you'd want to?
Thank you so much, everyone, for being patient and coming with your personal questions. I'm sure if some people didn't ask any questions here, it got solved if someone else asked it. Thank you so much. We'll be sending you a follow-up email on how you found this webinar, and just some more pieces of information that are important for you to complete your application or start your application for some of you. Thank you so much for being a great audience. Hopefully we'll see you in the next batch and you will get to interact with you personally. And best of luck for all your interviews. And thank you, Rahul, for providing all the information you did. When can we expect the application IT glitches to be fixed? Give us 24 hours, we'll fix it, and I will reply to you on the same wave thread, and you can start your application from there. Does that work, Khushi?
Yeah, that works. And just one other question. After submitting the application, how much time do you have before the interview?
A week to around 2 weeks, depending on how many other applicants we have. So it fluctuates. We sometimes have a lot of them, sometimes have a little few.
So is it
But
like the application is stage one, only if you get filtered on stage one, you get called for an interview, or does the interview happen anyway?
We do filter out applications, but we like to give everyone a chance to at least
Yeah.
interview. So there's
Okay.
that.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, that's why I said at least fill up your application. It's most likely you will land an interview nonetheless, because it's about gauging potential and not just you're not the words you write on a piece of form. So we want to know you better.
And there is no writing. I'm so sorry, I have so many questions. There is no writing assessment, right? Like you don't have to write an essay or SOP or anything of that sort, do you?
So Khushi, if after round one we feel like we would like to evaluate your writing skills, you'll get an assignment from us. Not all students have to go through that, but some of them do have to. So after your first interview, you'll be informed whether you'll have to send us a writing assignment or not.
All right, got it.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess we can wrap up. For anyone who's missed this session, and if they are your friends, or if you want to send this recording to someone, please write to me.